Well, greetings and salutations, SIE test takers. This is Dean Tenney coming to you from my studio in fabulous Las Vegas. The best free supplement to your paid study materials is my YouTube channel. But if you're looking for a paid supplement and you don't already have Kaplan, I highly recommend Kaplan content, particularly the Kaplan QBank and the quick sheets. Or, thank you so much. A lot of you joined me for my SIE class, Kaplan SIE class today. Whenever I'm teaching a Kaplan class, Kaplan contracts with me to teach some of their classes. I forgot, Guru 10 a discount code at checkout for that commercial. Kaplan allows me to give you a free look at Kaplan content. Anyways, I was teaching the Kaplan SIE. I typically do that the first month of each quarter. I teach a 7 the second month of each quarter, and I teach a 66 the third quarter, or third month of each quarter. And, like I say, sometimes I don't put myself on the schedule. Sometimes I do. But this quarter, I'm on the schedule and teaching an SIE today. I always like to use that as a nudge to put up some content of some sort based on whatever class I happen to be teaching. And this is a little quiz we did this morning. And so I thought I would share it with you as well. So the quiz is, what type of offering are we discussing? So remember, 33 says we're going to sell brand new securities to the public. We have to make a registration statement. And, there are some exempt transactions or safe harbors where we do not have to, register the securities. We're selling unregistered securities. That simply means securities that have not been registered under 33. And then we have capacity issues when doing investment banking. We always recommend or disclose when we're, acting as an agent to the issuer as an investment banker, or whether we're acting in a dealer principal capacity of the syndicate. So, whether you're buying the stock from the issuer and the syndicate is an agent to the issuer, or whether you're buying the stock securities from the syndicate directly, in which case they're acting in their dealer principal capacity. All right, so let's try our first one here. Hit pause, answer, see how you do. Investment banker sells to the public on behalf of the issuer. So is that a best efforts underwriting, or is that a firm commitment underwriting? Best efforts or firm commitment, what say you? Well, that is a best efforts underwriting, where we tell the issuer we're going to do our damnedest to sell the securities, but we're not willing to buy them personally. And again, if the customer says, Dean, who am I buying the securities from? I say, well, it's important for you to understand that I'm an agent to the issuer, the syndicate, and, you should definitely buy the securities, but, they're not coming from our, you're not buying them from us. All right, underwriter sells IPO shares from its own inventory. So underwriter sells IPO shares from its own inventory. Best efforts or firm commitment, what say you? Indeed, that is firm commitment. We're acting in our dealer principal capacity, All right, now there are certain safe harbors or what we call exempt transactions. So, the SEC says, Dean, did you sell brand new securities to the public without making a registration statement? I say yes, but I availed myself of one of the safe harbors, one of the exempt transactions. So ABC Corp sells $15 million in bonds. What safe harbor, what exemption transaction might ABC Corporation, the issuer, use? Any thoughts on that? How about a Reg A Tier 1? Reg A Tier 1, because we're not going over 20 million. So that's another safe harbor or exempt transaction under 33. All right, let's try our next one. Buy Stuff Inc. sells 45 million in preferred stock. So again, that wouldn't be Reg A Tier 1 because we're over that threshold. But we can certainly Buy Stuff Inc. The issuer could use a safe harbor exempt transaction under 33, and they could use Reg A Tier 2. Reg A Tier 2. All right, Sierra Verde Coffee offers shares exclusively, key pivot word, exclusively to residents of its home state. So the issuer is not making a registration statement with the SEC. So they're using a safe harbor or exempt transaction under 33. What might this safe harbor, or exemption be? How about a Rule 147, an intrastate offering of securities? An intrastate offering securities. That has to have, the issuer has to have 80%. The 80% rule of its business and assets within the state, and test point, we can only sell it to residents of the state. All right, our last one here in this little quiz. Little Gem Corp is offering shares exclusively to accredited investors. Boy, you better know accredited investors, right? That's $1 million net worth, exclusive of primary residence. That's or 200 grand for the last 2 years in annual income with the expectation of 200 grand this year, or married and filing jointly, 300 grand for the last 2 years with the expectation of 300,000 this year, or a Series 7 or 65 in good standing. Those are what we call accredited investors. And that would be a Reg D private placement. Reg D private placement. There's two versions of that. There's a 506B, 506C. The other one that I'm going to have to remind myself to tell the class tomorrow on day 2 is I didn't go over a PIPE, a private investment in a public entity. And, that's 144A. It doesn't have to be 144A, but I did make sure to tell them that QIBs, qualified institutional buyers of securities, are qualified institutional buyers of securities have assets under management, 100 million or more. And what they're allowed to do is buy unregistered foreign and domestic securities. And sometimes what they'll do is buy unregistered securities in a private placement for stock that already is trading in a public marketplace. It's called a PIPE. Doesn't have to be a QIB. It could be something else, but that does show up in the SIE as well. So anyways, remember, inch by inch, your SIE is a cinch. Yard by yard, your SIE is hard. And I will see you for the next SIE content, or I'll see you when you matriculate to your Series 6 or your Series 7. See you next time. Bye-bye.